Hey guys, it's Unplus Data, bringing you another review. This time we got Arrow, Episode 3 of Season 1. So this show's been going pretty steady now. I enjoyed every episode so far. But yeah, I just heard it got renewed for a whole season, so we're going to be seeing the show a lot more often, which I like, because I do like this show a lot. But before we get started with this review, guys, I just want to let you guys know that this actually does contain spoilers, so if you don't want to know what happens, bye-bye and come back. But, yeah, actually this episode was really good, so let's just go through it. So first off, again, this episode kind of starts off with, like every other episode, well, so far. He's going after another crook that basically is polluting the city, and before he can get to him, well, he gets to him, but before he can, like, talk to him like he did with the other one in episode 2, where he kind of just convinces him to do the right thing, he actually gets shot. And by who does he get shot by? Well, he gets shot by Deadshot. So yeah, Deadshot is actually in this episode. I want to talk about his design a little bit, but I just want to say that I'm happy that Deadshot's in this episode. I really want to see a lot of comic book characters in this show, and I'm assuming that's what they're trying to do with this series, so I'm very happy to see some more comic book characters. Always like to see them. But Deadshot's actually costume is different from what he is in the comics, but I think he has a good twist, but his eye is kind of awkward. He has his signature red eye. He has like one big red eye kind of that he uses to scope in and stuff, and it's really big on this guy. His other, like the rest of his suit is just like a normal suit, really, just like you would see someone like in any movie, I guess. Like, he doesn't look like a comic book character, is what I'm trying to get to, but his eye is really big, his red eye, so it looks a little awkward, but other than that, I like his design. And another thing that I really like is he has his signature guns on his wrists that he has, and he has that in his, comic book version too, so I really like how he had that. So anyway, he takes him out. Deadshot takes out this guy before Arrow could talk to him and trying to right his wrongs and everything. And the bullet actually that he shot this guy with has poison, and it hit Arrow too, like it skimmed him. So Arrow's actually poisoned. So he goes back to his little underground lair, and he pulls out these herbs, and he eats it right away, and like does this stuff, and he's cured. So he obviously has encountered this poison before. So that brings up a big question, like where did he encounter it on this island? But speaking on this island, there was another flashback near the start, and picked up right off where it left off before from the other flashback, which I'm happy about because I really want to know what happened. In last week's flashback, near the end, it was revealed that another man was on the island and actually shot Oliver Queen, and he had like the Arrow outfit, so kind of weird. We didn't know who he was, didn't show his face, didn't show anything. This episode, it shows his face, it shows him talking. So basically this flashback starts with Oliver waking up on the floor, and he asks the guy, "Why did you shoot me?" And he replies not in English. There's actually subtitles on the bottom, and I'm assuming it's Russian. Like, I don't know Russian, but it sounds Russian to me. And he said, "To protect you." So that's kind of weird. This guy has like a big beard. Kind of looks like what Oliver looked like when he was on the island for a while. He like grew out his beard and everything. That's what he looks like. He almost looks exactly like Oliver. So yeah, so that's a big thing. Like, who is this guy? We get a little bit of clues as to who he is later on, but like nothing really major. But so, what do you guys think who this guy is? Leave in the comments below what your predictions are. But really, I don't know. But other than that, we move on. And one really cool thing that Deadshot does is every time he kills someone, like his target, he actually tattoos their name on his body. So it showed like his body, like he was with his shirt off, and there's just names all over his body. I thought that was really cool. Really showed that he was like insane, really. Then it moves on to Oliver, and he's with his friend, like the comic relief friend, I guess. And he's actually trying to open like a nightclub. So he wants to use this nightclub almost as his like personal base, so he can store all his stuff underground, like in the basement of this nightclub. So that's pretty cool. It's a good idea, and it explains why he's always out at night. That gives him like an alibi to why he's always there. He doesn't have to explain it to his parents, doesn't have to explain it to his sister. And moving on to his sister, she's very annoying in my opinion, and I don't think her character really belongs in the show. It has, like, her character has her parts that are important, but, like, just the character is really unbalanced. Like, I mean, she has basically two personalities. Like, even in episode 2, she's all, like, sad and mushy and gushy, saying, oh, yeah, I used to talk to your tombstone all over, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then this episode, she's, like, doing drugs and, like, drunk all the time. Like, it doesn't fit. Like, why would you be doing this and then this? It doesn't seem like the same person to me. It seems like two different, separate people in both episodes. So I don't like that. It doesn't seem consistent to me, and it just kind of ruins the show a little bit. But not enough for me to stop watching. I still love this. But anyway, Oliver pins Deadshot back to the Russian mob. So he goes to the Russian mob to find out who he is really and who, like, what he does and stuff. And he gets us all from the bullet that Deadshot shot. So, yeah, Deadshot shot. I'm never going to say that again. It sounds funny. But anyway, so he goes to this garage, and he knows that two of these people are part of the Russian mob, and they start talking Russian. So obviously Oliver is fluent in Russian, and he asks for the guy's name, and they're like, oh, we don't know who you're talking about. And he's like, you know who I'm talking about. And apparently Oliver is actually part of the Russian mob, which is really weird. He pulls his shirt down a little bit, just his collar. Shows a tattoo that basically symbolizes the mob, and so I guess he's part of it. So maybe that happened on the island, I'm not sure. But basically, they help him, like these two guys, these older men that are part of the mob, and they help him try to track him down. But they say, before we help you, you have to prove to me that you're part of the Russian mob. And then it just kind of slid from there, and they never talked about it again. They never said how he proved to them that he's part of the Russian mob. Found that really weird. Kind of just an empty, blank hole in this episode. They don't explain it at all, but, like, they do come back again and tell him who Deadshot is and everything about him, but they never explain why, or I mean how, he's part of the Russian mob, or how he proves to them that he's from the Russian mob. So that's really weird to me, how they would just leave an open end like that, but I don't know. This is really not like this show, but whatever. Then it's revealed that Laurel and his best friend there, the guy, I forget his name, the comic relief guy, they actually were going out while Oliver was presumed dead. So that kind of, threw Oliver off a little, but not really. It seemed like he knew, like, as they said later on, kind of knew that they were already, like, dating. And Laurel actually kind of saves him, because they went into this, like, nightclub, and he was, like, basically enemies with the guy that owned it. So he was, like, taking on Oliver, the guy that owned this nightclub. And then Laurel comes in and, like, takes down the guy with all these moves and stuff. And then Oliver's like, how do you know how to, like, fight? And basically she says, well, my dad's a detective. I have to take personal defense, self-defense classes, which I find kind of stupid, how she would be that good from just a couple lessons. But oh well. But it is rumored that she is supposed to be Black Canary, which I can see her being that. I just don't understand how. Like, is she hiding her powers or something? That's kind of weird that I find, but it'd be pretty cool if she was. Anyway, so Oliver kind of runs away from the guy that at the nightclub, and this is what happens. And again, another flashback, and it's on the island, and they're both sleeping now. This is the flashback. Oliver and this mysterious hooded guy that shot him, that speaks in Russian, they're both sleeping on the floor, and Oliver wakes up, but the other man doesn't. So he gets up and he runs away, and he gets caught in a trap. It's it's one of those nets that are on the floor with leaves on top, and then when you step on it, it kind of brings you up. You're trapped in the net hanging. That's what he got trapped in, which is weird, because who would have set that up? Who would have had that net on this abandoned island again? So there's open ends here. And what's really weird is that that man that was sleeping with him, that shot him, took him down and said, you're not, it's not safe to be alone out here. And again, in Russian, which is, again, weird. Don't know why he speaks Russian. Maybe he's part of the Russian mob. That's maybe how Oliver, like, knows the Russian mob. That's why he has the tattoo. That's a possibility. And then the weirdest part is that once they go, people in, like, full body armor and guns, like assault, like, weapons, come and they take the net. So obviously there's other people on this island, like civilized people that know what they're doing if they have full body armor and, like, guns. So that's kind of weird. So then the Russian mob finds out where Deadshot is and everything, blah blah blah. And really, what happens next is Oliver goes to his IT department. Before this, Oliver, like Arrow, obviously, has a big fight with Deadshot because he finds out from the Russian mob where he is, and Deadshot kind of runs away. But they had a really cool fight scene. Even they have two fight scenes in this episode. One of them is really small, the one that just happens right now. Then the last one is really nice, really cool, but we'll get to that later. But anyway, he steals his computer, and it was the computer of the guy Deadshot killed in the beginning. So he brings this computer to his IT department, and he tells them, "Oh yeah, it's broken. I don't have time to fix it. Can you fix it for me?" And the girl there recognizes that there's bullet holes in the computer, which is a little awkward. I think she thinks something's up with that because obviously, why would he have bullet holes in here? But you know what would really be cool though? This girl that's in the IT department that's fixing the computer here, she kind of opens it up, gets all information from and from that they find out that there's actually 4 points where Deadshot's next target is that he can be from to shoot his target. And so they don't, and it's in like an auction where his mom and like stepdad are and his sister. So there's 4 possibilities where he can go. So he gets the help of Laurel's dad, which is the detective, to help him like set up guards there. So they have it all, guarded. So that way Deadshot doesn't have anywhere to hit because really Arrow can't do it by himself. He can't be in 4 places at once. So he does do that. But just a little possibility that I think would be cool. And I'm pretty sure this is where they're going with this. But this girl in the IT department that kind of is on to Oliver a little bit. I think she could be a cool, like, eyes in the sky, kind of gives him information from afar, like, secretary type of person. And a lot of superheroes have that, like, that kind of thing. That would be really cool if she was that, because even the personality that she had, you can tell that she's not just going to be in this episode. Obviously, she's going to be in more, just by the way she acts and, the way she is. But other than that, let's move on. Then Deadshot actually takes out one of the detectives, or his dad, one of his men. So he's at the watchtower, so they don't suspect anything. And Deadshot starts aiming at his target, and Oliver's actually there. But just, Oliver, he's not dressed up as Arrow, because it's his mom and stepdad's, like, little thing they're doing, auction. So they're there, too, so he has to go, too. And Deadshot's aiming at Oliver, which I'm like, why is he shooting at Oliver? That's kind of weird. But then he, like, moves off and goes to Oliver's stepdad, and he's going to shoot, and then the detective, Laura's dad, jumps out in the way, pushes him out, and Deadshot misses. So he saved his life. But anyway, then this really surprised me. Deadshot was just shooting random people, and they were showing it on TV. Like 5 or 6 people just got shot, like innocent people. So I'm surprised they kind of showed that on TV. But whatever. Compared to The Walking Dead, that's nothing. But like that, because of the amount of stuff The Walking Dead puts on, like chopping off someone's leg or whatever, they show the whole thing. But still, it's kind of a weird kind of step that a CW would let this go on, where they're shooting innocent people for no reason. That's kind of weird that they would do that. Kind of maybe stepping over a line there, but maybe not. I could be wrong. Maybe that's just my opinion. But anyway, then Arrow and Deadshot have this big fight. Really nice fight scene. You think that Arrow would kind of be outmatched because it's guns against a bow and arrow, but it's actually really kind of equal because most of the time they fight hand to hand, and Arrow has these cool moves where he uses his bow as like a weapon and he like smacks you with it. I really like the choreography with them fighting, but there was one part I found really cheesy, and he like picked up Deadshot and like threw him in a table. I don't know why, like they can throw people in tables and it looks good, it looks realistic, but for some reason it looks so fake to me. Like that's the only part of fighting I didn't like in this episode. Other than that, all the fighting so far for this series has been really good, really well done. But that just looked really cheesy to me. Anyway, so then I was gonna say Deadpool. I don't know what I'm thinking. Deadshot has Arrow kind of pinned up against a pole, and he has his wrist gun out, about to shoot him, and like Arrow kind of just does this 1-2 turn really fast. Like, it doesn't even look like he's looking, which I thought was awesome. He just shoots, and he hits Deadshot straight in his, like, iconic red eye, right through his head, and he's just laying there. I thought that was so awesome. Looked really, really cool. Really nice way to end the fight scene. I did think the fight scene was too short, though. I would have liked if Deadshot lived, kind of, like, got away, like, retreated at the end, and came back in a later episode. Maybe even with Deathstroke, because I know Deathstroke's coming, so that would be pretty cool if they teamed up. But he's dead, obviously, unless they have, like, cybernetic mutation that brings him back, which I doubt, but you never know with comic books, so. Then it is shown that Oliver's bodyguard actually got shot while Deadshot was shooting everyone, so now he's poisoned because he got shot. So Oliver in the Arrow costume, picks up his bodyguard, brings him back to his underground, like, lair or whatever, feeds him the herbs and everything, and saves him. Then he reveals to his bodyguard that he's Arrow. So that was the big thing. He revealed to someone that he's Arrow. But really, the bodyguard pretty much already knew from last week's episode when Oliver threw the knife to save him. So yeah, that was the big reveal, though. I'm glad that he told the detective, so he can be more lenient with that in that respect. But other than that, it was a pretty good episode. That's basically all that happened. Again, I wish Deadshot didn't die, but whatever. It was really their decision. But I know this series is going to have a lot of other comic book villains, which that's really cool because that's really what it's all about, right? The comic book readers are going to love seeing all these villains that they know and love on the screen, on the TV screen, and then non-comic book readers get these cool villains that they get to see. So that's really cool. So before I go, guys, I just want to let you guys know that I actually do a podcast with two other really cool guys. It's called the Lost Bros Podcast, so if you want to go check that out, it's on iTunes and Podomatic.com. So again, it's called the Lost Bros Podcast. We talk about movies, TV shows, comics, action figures, Transformers, video games. We cover everything, so you guys would really like that. So thanks, guys, for watching this video. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more news and reviews. And I'll talk to you guys later, and peace.